Hey guys, so I've recently hit 1 year of my journey to learn to become a music producer and then also a DJ. And this has been such a wild journey for me, and honestly, it is hard for me to make a video of because it's definitely one of my insecurities right now. As with any new skills you want to learn, right? It's always so hard and I feel so lost. I feel so stupid in the beginning. I feel so raw and naked making a video about that. But I feel like if I want to be that authentic person that I've always wanted to be, if I want to be honest with my progress into music production, if I eventually want to move closer to getting better at music production and DJing, then I should probably make a video that documents my progress and perhaps share my learnings with you and to show you what it's really like to learn a new skill. It's raw, it's hard, it's horrible, but I want this channel to be a place where you feel safe to share what you've been trying to learn as a new skill. I want this space to make you feel good about where you're at in your life. And I just wanted to share with you not the perfect side of my life. So without further ado, this is going to be a video of me reflecting my 1 year journey into music production. So why do I want to start learning music production and get into DJing? Well, let's keep it short because we don't have the time to tell you about my entire life story. But basically why this is that I want to do this is because I've always been drawn to music ever since I was little. You know, coming from an Asian family background, my mom has signed me up for piano lessons from a very young age. And I was exposed to not only playing piano, my dad was a big music guy. He would collect music albums. He would play songs from the radio, and he would collect all of these CDs from the 90s, 80s, 70s, from all of these amazing artists that make great music. And my dad would also play his guitar and sing to us. My mom has always been into singing too, so music has always been a thing in my life growing up. And I slowly developed a passion for creative work. I don't know what it is, but I've always been drawn into anything that's creative. From DIYs to making cakes to customizing my desktop background to making music. I've always been drawn to artistic expressions, and making art makes me feel like being myself. And I wanted to have a creative outlet of some sort in my life. I wanted to have art be a big part of my life, no matter what stage I'm at. And I've tried many different types of creative outlets. I've tried producing a short film. I've tried baking. I've tried graphic design. I've tried being a makeup artist. I've tried a lot of creative stuff in my life. And I feel like making music, being in music, going to music concerts, being immersed and marinated into the world of music always makes me feel like I am being truly who I am. And I feel this internal hunger and curiosity and motivation for me to be part of the community and make music for others to enjoy. Like, I want to contribute, right? Like, growing up, received so much love, energy from music, and now I want to be a part of that magic by creating music for other people to enjoy. So how I got started into music, making music, I've always loved performing music, performing anything that's like artistic, and DJing felt like the perfect combination of music and then performing. I love singing too. I've performed on stage singing for a band. I've performed on stage playing the guitar. I love the stage. Like, I love the spotlight, and incorporating music into a stage setting felt right for me. And I wanted to make music on Ableton. So I started learning music on Ableton a year ago, and making music in Ableton resulted in me getting into sounds that are created in electrified format, if that makes sense. So as a young adult now, I've found myself drawn into the EDM music scene. I love going to festivals. I just love the energy that I feel with my friends. I love the energy that the DJs somehow create for the room. There is a very powerful thing, like when a DJ is playing and people all around you are like in the same mood. We are all like enjoying music in the very moment. And I just feel like there is a powerful thing that a DJ does to the crowd. And I just thought it was so cool. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So performing on stage and making music in Ableton resulted me wanting to be a DJ. And then also creating music in Ableton have given me a lot of room and pathways to create electronic music. So I've signed up for myself. I signed up for a music school in Hollywood called IO Music Academy, where I studied how to create electronic dance music in Ableton. And this is pretty much it, how I got started into learning creating music in Ableton. And the journey has been tough. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, it's so hard. It's so hard to make music in Ableton. First of all, I don't know about you, but like I've never experienced Ableton until like I was 27, 28. And growing up, I've always been paired with like a physical instrument. So like all I have to play with is that one piano or like that one guitar. But like given Ableton, that's like a whole computer software that I have to learn. And oh my God, it's so like, I'm gonna be brutally honest, it's so dry. Initially, like when you first look at Ableton, the dashboard, it's very not pretty. If I'm being completely honest with you, it looks so dull. And I know like it's not about being pretty. It's not about like the software looking like nice for you. It is a software that you learn to use to create something that's artistic and meaningful. So I put up myself with it, right? So in the beginning of my music production journey, it almost felt like I wasn't making music. It almost felt like I was trying to learn computer science. It almost felt like I was trying to learn some sort of engineering that resulted in nothing. And I think like the hardest part of this entire journey was to get started. There is an immense feeling of stupidity. Like I felt so stupid not knowing how to operate my computer anymore. I felt so stupid in trying to navigate and trying to find that one button that deletes the track. Like it felt so easy, right? It seems so easy, like the way I mentioned. It seems like an easy task, right? But in the beginning, when I'm trying to learn how to make music in Ableton, the simplest things in Ableton, or like the simplest things that I wanted to achieve is so hard. Like I cannot find that button in Ableton. So it's like so challenging. And also like learning a new skill or like learning to create music in Ableton, there is really no roadmap for you. I'm lucky enough, I'm privileged enough to get enrolled in the school, and they gave me a breakdown of all the classes that I should start with, like what should I be taking for the first class, and then where should I go to progress my journey in music production. But then I almost feel like, you know, there are like hundreds and thousands of artists in this world who makes electronic dance music, and there is no set roadmap for everybody. Like there is no like one single Bible that tells you, okay, you start day one, you do this, day two, you do that. So everybody's journey is a little different. And the hardest part for me was not having a roadmap, trying to find my own flow of things while I'm in Ableton. And it's so frustrating to the point where I kind of want to avoid it. I feel so frustrated by the idea of opening Ableton and start navigating it. Not even like making music, but like start navigating in the software. I feel so stressed to the point where I did not want to even open Ableton. So there were periods of this past year where I did not open Ableton at all because it just stresses me out. It stresses me out that I don't know like the simplest things that I wanted to achieve in Ableton. But then after taking some breaks, or after taking small breaks in between, I know for a fact that if I want to get better at music creation, if I want to get better at becoming the artist, you know, or whatever, I have to put up with that. I have to overcome the obstacles that I have to overcome to get closer to where I want to get to in terms of like my creative journey. So even though it's overwhelming, I know that I have to put up with myself and get through the hardships. And now that we have ChatGPT, I can just ask it, like, if I want to do this, what should I do? And usually I would get a pretty good answer, but you would have to put in the work to build on the skills yourself, and nobody else can help you, not even ChatGPT. So that was the hardest part for me. Another hardship that I encountered was time management. As you know me, I make videos, right? I also work a 9-to-5 job. I also help sit people's dogs. I also make cakes for clients. So there's a lot on my plate, and finding even more time to learn a new skill that stresses me out is hard. And I think the beauty of having a full schedule is it really tests you on how much do you want something. If you want something in life and you don't have enough time for it, you would really get tested on how much you want that thing. And if you want something enough, as much as you want to breathe, you will somehow find time for it. And that's what I had to do in my life, to make sacrifices from leisure activities to really lock in on my music production journey and sit down with my laptop, be stressful, and learn. So time management was a thing for me, and it was really, really hard. Also, what's hard for me was the emotional, the mental part, right? I was 28 when I was starting to learn this new skill of mine. Do I wish I started it earlier? Hell yeah. But I can't go back in time, and I am the youngest I'll ever be. So overcoming that was hard, right? Like the feeling of like starting over, or like learning a new skill at age of 28 was a little bit challenging. I know there will be people who say like, oh, 28 is not even old, blah, blah, blah. But if I could start earlier, I would totally do it. But you know, life is life. Life is lifing. So you gotta do what you gotta do, right? All right. Stop right there. Time out. Enough of venting. I want to share with you some of the tools and tips that actually really helped me in my journey of music production. And hopefully these tips can help you too if you are also trying to get started in music production in Ableton. So these are the 3 Ableton tips that helped me the most. Once you learn how to navigate Ableton, once you learn your tools, the stuff that you can use to create music, I want you to start trying to recreate music that you love. It is one of the most helpful things that I've experienced throughout my journey, and by recreating a song that you love, you learn so much in the process. You learn about phrasing, you learn about sound choice, you learn about sound design, you learn about all the things that when it comes to putting a song together. And when you have a song that you want to recreate, it acts as like a role model for you to follow through. And once you've really mastered the art of recreating a song, you can then take what you've gained from that process and recreate your own song. And you would be surprised on how much easier it gets when you have those skills with you. I feel like it is the easiest way to understand structure, arrangement, and transitions. And it removes the pressure of being original in the beginning. And I kid you not, a lot of the songs from my experience comes from me recreating a song. Like I would be recreating a song and then I would hit this like aha moment where I was like, oh wait, this is a cool idea, but like what if it's like this way? What if I alter it a little bit that way and it becomes a brand new song? Always check yourself because you don't want to plagiarize. But a lot of the sound that I've ended up creating was from me trying to recreate another sound. And if you compare the 2 sounds now, you would know, like there's no way for you to think that it's the same sound, but it came from that process, if I'm making sense at all. The second tip I have for you is limit yourself to a small tool set. What I mean by that is, you know, like if you're a musician, let's say if you play the guitar, all you have is the guitar and there's only so much you can use like as tools, right? But like when it comes to Ableton, you literally have access to drums, all the drum sounds, all the synth sounds, all the pads, all the stuff that you can imagine when it comes to like music creation. You literally just open a door that gives you access to like a million different options and it gets overwhelming. So my biggest advice here is don't download 50 plugins and try to learn everything at the same time. Limit yourself to maybe like 4 instruments from Ableton, maybe like 4 synthesizers, maybe just 2 drum racks, or maybe like 1 or 2 effect chain, and really master the basics before moving on to discovering new sounds, discovering new plugins, because having a very firm basics done, it's really going to help you navigate new tools and new stuff that you discover along the way. And I cannot stress that enough. Like I've been in moments where I just feel so overwhelmed with that new plugin with all the knobs and all the buttons I can click that I was like, okay, my God, I need to take a break from this. And I ended up never coming back to that session because I was feeling so overwhelmed. So limiting yourself to a small tool set has been really helpful for me to really like hone my skill in the absolute basic. It can get repetitive, it can get boring a little bit, but it is important for us to understand the basics before we move on. My third tips of advice is instead of trying to create a full-length song, full like 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minute, 10-minute song, try to start with loops. And what I mean by that is start with building an 8-bar loop. It can be a verse or a chorus or a drop, breakdown, whatever you want to do, and build upon that idea. Have an idea, make it short, and play around with that idea. Build an 8-bar loop with just drums, build a 8-bar loop with just synth, build a 8-bar loop with just effects, whatever you want to do it. Build an 8-bar loop of just bass, however you want to do it. Focus on the sounds, focus on the structure, focus on the phrasing instead of looking at the full project. Because once you have a very solid 8-bar loop created, it'll be easier in a sense for you to expand from that. Like I always find myself creating a drop first, like the most exciting part of the song, and then I would then duplicate the section into a verse or like into a breakdown or like into another section of my song, and just take out or add in other like small things to make it sound different or like to give a different energy. But it helped me a lot knowing that I have like the most sophisticated part down. And I highly recommend, working with a small bar loop and extend with that. Now, when it comes to learning music production, there's a million ways, right? So there are YouTube videos you can watch and there are friends who can teach you, or you can learn by yourself, you can buy courses online, you can go to physical schools like I did. There are just many options when it comes to learning music production. And like I mentioned in the beginning, there is no single correct way to do it. It depends on your time, your budget, your physical location, and many other factors. And personally, how I learned about music production for the past year was I took physical classes from a school from IO in Hollywood, and then I also took vocal lessons where it's like a virtual meeting with my tutor who's from Canada. We would work on our vocal skills on a weekly basis, and on top of that I also watched YouTube videos and I purchased courses. I kind of did everything, but I would say like the priorities for me were my Hollywood physical music school, and then also my vocal lessons, my one-on-one weekly vocal trainings with my tutor. Now, what I've learned from my physical music school and going to my one-on-one vocal training every week was structure, accountability, and real feedback. So by going to school, I was put into this environment where I learn from an instructor and I have homeworks to do. And whenever I work on my homework, I would bring my homework back a week later to get real feedback for my specific homework. Now, I know that there will be courses online where they offer like feedback for your homework, but that was just the path that I went to. And personally, I feel like it is very helpful for me because starting from no experience and no basics at all, going to school gave me a sense of control where I know exactly where I'm starting at, and it slowly built upon my path of learning music production. And I think if you are someone who is looking for clarity, like looking for some kind of roadmap, I highly recommend taking classes, both or in person or virtually, because it'll definitely help you with getting a sense of what's coming and what are the next steps. And what I learned from a vocal class was also like accountability and feedback and all of that. And it also like provided a lot of motivations for me to continue to work on my vocal skills. It is also not an easy skill to learn, but going to classes has definitely helped me to be more responsibility with my own schedule and helped me with getting more clarity on my time management. Like I mentioned, I also watch a lot of YouTube videos online on music production. production. And I think YouTube is honestly a great platform if you wanted to learn about music production. There's literally a video for anything that you want to learn, from tiny like niche tricks to like transitions, or to how to twist your knobs to get to that exact sound you want. I feel like YouTube is great for specific tricks and tools that you are trying to learn more about. My overall opinion on the platforms and the ways to learn music production would be class is speed. So like by going to class, you know for a fact that you are progressing on a weekly basis, right? Like you learn something new every single week. And it is up to you to manage your time to do your homework, and having like classes set on a weekly basis gives you like a good big picture on what's coming your way. And self-learning on the other hand, watching YouTube videos, purchasing courses, and learning all the materials on your own pace, it gives you a sense of freedom. There will be times where it's physically impossible for you to attend school, or there are some stuff that come up that hinders you from going to school. Learning music production on the side, like watching video or like watching like a virtual course, it gives you that freedom where you can choose your own class time for you to learn music production. And I feel like there is no single best way to approach this. To me, I feel like the best way is to incorporate both, right? Like going to school on a weekly basis and then learn small things on the side on your own. Now, like if you don't have the money or like the time, or you are not located at a place that's convenient for you to go to school, that's okay too. There are plenty of online courses that have like weekly goals and plans for you to follow. So don't worry if you don't have access to a class or school. Now let's get a little bit into my practice routines and how I approach making music now that I'm a year into my music journey. Now, I want to mention that I am still honing my process. This is not a perfect process. If you find it useful, feel free to take what I'm using for your own music journey, but this is like not a perfect routine or whatever. I just wanted to show you what I have so far. So on a weekday after I get out of my job, I would take time, at least like 30 minutes to an hour. An hour is like a privilege to have, but usually I have less than an hour to work on my music. So I try to like on a weekly basis find 2 to 3 days to get into Ableton and work on one thing at a time. Sometimes it's how to like making sense of EQ. Sometimes it's making sense of a phrase. Sometimes it's just trying to generate something, trying to use my creative juice and create something in Ableton. It depends on what I want to focus on in that session, but I always would pick one thing to focus on in that 30-minute time frame. So it'll be like short bursts of practice sessions for my Ableton. Now, like I haven't mentioned like DJing quite a bit because I feel like right now my focus is going to be music production because I find it the most tedious. I find it the hardest to make sense of Ableton and to learn what it takes to create music. And there's a lot to learn in Ableton. So right now my focus is to create music and learn how to create music. If I have a moment on the weekend, I try to find time to practice DJing. Now that's like inconsistent. Like I'm being like super honest with you. My weekend schedule flies around. It looks different every weekend. And for me, my goal is to have like a set routine for my weekend where I will space out time dedicated to practicing DJing. And honestly, I haven't been able to put in the time and effort into practicing DJing because if you have read the book Atomic Habits, then you know like one of the biggest ideas from the book is if you are trying to develop a healthy habit for yourself, it's best to make it easy for it to happen. For example, if you wanted to work out in the morning, have your workout clothes set somewhere near your bed. So like whenever you wake up, you immediately see your workout clothes and you put them on and you're ready to go. And applying that notion into my DJing journey, I don't have a table that have my turntables or controllers set up right there like ready to go. Whenever I want to practice DJing, I have to clear a desk, put my controller there and set up my laptop and getting all the wires set up. It's harder for me to just walk to a controller, plug in my USB and get going. So I am ashamed of that. And I want to be accountable for that. I want to be responsible for that. So I'm not gonna hide that to you guys. Like I'm saying it because it is what it is. And I am hoping to set up a table, a station where everything's like all set up right there. I can just walk over and start DJing. I will keep you posted on that progress, but for now, it's an area that I really wanted to improve. When it comes to making music in Ableton, my usual structure is I would start with the drum loop. I would decide how fast I want the song to be. Now that can change later, but at least for a structure of a song, I like to have my drum beat set up. That usually includes a kick, some hi-hats, snares, clap, that's basically it. And then on top of the beat, I would start generating chords. I'm a very melodic person, like I love songs with like good melodies. So I would always try to play something on the keyboard that accompanies the beat. So I would have my MIDI keyboard set up here and I would just start jamming. Anything that feels good to me, I would start like jamming, and I would record when I'm playing on the MIDI to Ableton on the side. So if I have like a good moment that I wanted to like capture, it's already captured in Ableton. I don't have to go back and think, oh, what did I just play after I had a good idea? Because sometimes I don't remember what I played. After I have my chords all set up, I would then think about what's like the lead melody to the song. Now that can be like a vocal thing where I sing the lead, or sometimes it can be like a lead melody coming from a synth, an instrument, or something else, or anything that I consider a lead. And once I have a lead, chord, drum beats ready, I would then look at like everything else, right? Like phrasing and then effects. Effects are usually the last thing I look at, unless it makes sense for me to add that while I was like in the beginning stages of my music creation process. Effects adds to the song, and sometimes adding effects early in the music creating process gives me inspirations to add something else into the song. So if it makes sense for you to add it early, feel free to do it. For me, if it doesn't come to me in the beginning of the process, I would usually add it last, and that includes like reverbs or EQs or LFOs. That includes EQs, filters, transitions, risers, breakdowns, and you name it, all that effects. To put that into visualization, I am going to show you a clip of a small section of a song that I've created from what I've started, like the drum beats, all the way to chord, lead, and everything else. Here you go. Welcome to Ableton. I'm so glad you made it. I'm here to show you how I develop a 4-bar loop into a more sophisticated part of a song. This is what the loops sound like. Cool. And this is solely just me playing on the MIDI and, you know, trying to get the creative juices flowing. And once I have something that I like, I record it into Ableton and I build from there. These are the elements that I've added. More chords. And then I wanted to add some type of note that stands out from the chord progression. So I turned to Serum. And then once I'm happy with that, I wanted to add some bass for the lower frequencies. Once I'm happy with my keys here, I would then go into drums and develop from here. And then I add in the hi-hat. And then I add in more hi-hat to have a more wider sound frequency. And then I bring in claps. More claps. And that's basically how I build a song from here. The next section I wanted to talk about is some advice that I would give for people who are starting from absolute zero. No knowledge, no gear, no nothing. And, you know, mind you, I've only been into this journey for a year, so don't take my advice too seriously. Use it if it's valuable to you, and ignore me if it's not. So the first tip I wanted to give you is don't overthink gear. There are plenty of gears on the market that you can choose from. For me, the DJ controller that kept coming up was the Pioneer DDJ FLX4. So I purchased that. It was a very beginner friendly and budget friendly controller, and I use it till this day. I love it. But the point here is don't overthink gear in the beginning. You will probably get new gear as you progress in your journey. So don't splurge on like the most expensive equipment. You probably won't use all the features it has, and by the time you know all the features, it might have like a new version of it. So don't waste your money on like super expensive gear right off the bat, and pay attention to the songs that you like. Going forward, I want you to pay attention to like the drums they use, the drum loop that they have, the sound that they use, and start trying to recreate the songs in Ableton. You don't have to recreate the entire thing. Just pick a section that you want to recreate and try your best. There is no right way to do it. Maybe this person used LFO for like the choppy sound of it all. You can use envelope, or you can just physically type in the notes. There is no single right way to create a sound. I want you to focus on consistency, not perfection. Perfectionism is not good for music production, and by knowing that you can never be perfect, it gives you the freedom to make mistakes, fail, and make progress. The most important thing here is to be consistent with what you've committed. I want you to find one friend or a community that you can share your progress with, someone or a community that can hold you accountable for the commitment that you've just made. I find it super motivating if I'm with people who are also in the same boat as I am, who are also like struggling to make music, who are also taking classes to make music, because I feel like I have someone to ask questions to, I have someone to hold accountable to when it comes to like a challenge like this. And it's kind of like having a workout buddy, right? Like if you have a workout buddy that meets you at the gym 5 a.m. every morning, you don't want to let them down. It's easier for you to keep up with that promise, right? Meeting with your workout buddy at 5 a.m. or whatever time you guys are meeting. It's easier for you to keep up with your promise to yourself of like your fitness journey by having a fitness partner. It's the same idea here. Having a partner who is also like on the music journey with you, who is willing to give you constructive criticism on your music. Having a partner definitely helped me a lot in this process. And the most important tip I have for you is you don't need to feel ready to start. You can begin anytime. The best time to start is right now. If you ever feel like you want to start something, but something is stopping you from starting, don't let it, because you might have less time in the future to build on this new skill. And after all the struggles, it's a very fulfilling and rewarding process. Once you got the sound that you wanted to make, once you feel that spark in your brain when you hit something, once you have like a loop that you are super satisfied with, it is a very fulfilling and amazing feeling to be able to create music in Ableton. So I want you to feel that too. If you are ever hesitant to get started, don't be afraid. It's not as scary as you might think. Let's start with like take baby steps every day. Take the absolute baby steps. It can be as small as just watch one YouTube video on music creation. It can be as small as just creating an 8-bar loop of just kicks. As long as you are making progress, as long as you are starting this journey, as long as you are taking steps into this journey, you are crushing it. You are doing the best you can do, and you should feel proud of yourself. And that is basically my music journey for the past 1 year of learning how to make music in Ableton and also trying to DJ on the side. I hope you find this video helpful. Even if you are not on the music creation journey, I hope that you get motivated by watching this video to get started on the skill that you've always wanted to build. In the comments below, I would love to learn about what are some new skills that you are looking to build in the new year, and let's root for each other. Learning a new skill is not easy. It's absolutely one of the hardest things that we can all do. So I want you to feel like you are loved here. This is a community for you to be true to yourself, be raw, be vulnerable. Let's all grow together. And if you are interested in watching more self-improvement, self-investment, personal growth videos, I make videos like that on my channel where I share all the wins and losses I've encountered throughout my life. So if you are interested in watching those content, please subscribe to my channel. And I recently just turned 29, if you didn't know that. I turned 29 and I made a video of 29 life lessons that I've learned before 30. That is a very info-packed video, and if you are curious to learn about the 29 life lessons I learned before turning 30, please click the video linked here for you. And until next time, my name is Michelle. Let's go. Bye.